Good morning. Today we're going to work on planting mulberries. I have 2 mulberries that are here, and my assistant, Brooklyn, she's my daughter, she's here. It is September 5th, Labor Day, and it is almost 9 o'clock in the morning. It's about 85 degrees already. Today we're supposed to get a nice heat wave of 110 to 111 degrees, and then the heat wave after this next week will be gone. So why would I plant something in a heat wave? It just needs to get in the ground. First off, this is in a black container. When the sun hits this thing, the temperature increases a lot more. And if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see there are roots that are actually starting to grow. I don't know if you can see them, but they're coming out the bottom. So it is already outgrowing this container that I planted, and I'll put a link in the video of when I planted it this spring in this huge bucket. I think this is a 25-gallon bucket. I mean, it looks like the size of a 5-gallon bucket, but I think they call it a 25-gallon bucket. Either way, now I need to take it out and put it into the ground. And I've prepared this soil. It is sand, some of the native soil, along with a little bit of perlite. And so it has some good drainage. Now, the thing with mulberries is they tend to root out. So they don't go deep into the ground, they'll spread out, which is why I planted this about 250 feet away from the house, because I don't want the roots to go into my house or around my house or around the foundation or anything. So I have them planted out here. This is a Pakistani mulberry, and then the other one is world's best mulberry. I'm not sure if that's a specific variety or not, but anyway, so we'll get into planting this. And I also have 5-gallon bucket full of fish emulsion, which Brooklyn thinks smells so nice. And we're gonna pour half in each hole, and then also give another 25 gallons of water to each hole, because this is really, really dry ground and it needs to have moisture. I'm then going to water them every single day for the next 2 weeks until temperatures start to decrease to saturate the soil. And after that, I will probably cut it back to every other day until temperatures really drop to 80s, and then it will be like once a week. So I hope that information is helpful, and now we're gonna plant these things. I put the rock in the middle to know where the middle of our hole is going to be, and we're just gonna dig it a little bit, not as deep as this, about 3/4, so that this is planted a little bit high, because this is new ground and there might be settling, especially when we put water in with it. And it might settle a good 6 inches. So I'm gonna plant them a little bit higher. All right, let's get going. I almost forgot, we're gonna be putting some of this mycorrhizal stuff in the bottom of it. Because this is just sand, it doesn't really have much nutrients in it, or bacteria or fungi. So I'm planting or putting this in the bottom of it so that it'll help stimulate some growth. It's good stuff. Okay, bad thing happened when I was pulling the tree out. I had such sandy soil, which is good for the roots, but it had not held onto the sandy soil. I probably should have done what Gary recommended in putting the whole bucket, cutting the bottom out, and then pulling the bucket out so that all the roots are stable and staying in the same spot. Ultimately, that didn't work out too well, but mulberries are pretty resilient trees. So I'm not so worried about it. We'll try it out, see if it works. If it dies, then I'll know what not to do next time. Either way, you want to try to keep the roots intact to the best of their ability and not have to worry about replanting. So watch my other video, I'll link it here, on how to do that. Yeah, I did it with the pluaries, and with this one, it's an experiment. We're gonna see how it goes. All right, off to the next mulberry. Okay, this is the world's best mulberry. You can see it, and it came in this teeny little container, and it is already 3 feet tall. And Brooklyn's gonna start digging the hole. With this type of planting, you can see that it doesn't need a wide, it just needs something relatively narrow and small to be able to put it in. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'll put some of the mycorrhizal at the bottom of it after Brooklyn has it dug up, and we'll just easily plant this in. Now, it is recommended to put it in these longer containers for trees that have tap roots that go down. Now, mulberries don't really have tap roots, but I'm sure for shipping, it's a lot lighter and easier to be able to grow any tree in this type of a thing, especially when you're shipping it. This tree came from Peaceful Heritage, and I really enjoy buying stuff from Peaceful Heritage. The trees that I get are pretty good quality, and they come in these nice long, easy to plant tubes. And you can see the leaves on this one are much bigger than the Pakistani mulberry. So in a couple years, I should be able to have fruit. All right, let's see how Brooklyn's doing. Brooklyn put some compost around this one. We're gonna put some compost around the other tree, and then I'm gonna take mulch and put the mulch around each of the trees to be able to retain the water a little bit better. So here's the stinky fish guts.
Yeah, I think so.
And then with the composted steer manure, that should be a good combination of fertilization. Now I'll go over to the next one and fill that one. Okay, that's it. We have all of the 2 trees planted. Our dog is now urinating on them, which is great. And there are people on motorcycles and 4-wheelers now in the backyard. So, now that we're done with it, we have the mulch in. Already looking at this mulberry tree, it doesn't look so good because the end of the tree is already starting to wilt because I messed around with those roots. Dang it. But that's okay. It's a resilient tree and it will bounce back. At least I hope it will. So hopefully this information was informative for you, and beyond that, I hope you have a stellar day and happy planting of mulberries.